Racism is the shark, striking fear into the souls and the hearts of those too small to oppose them. They take what they want and they will do so gladly. With their sinister grins and widespread fins, they will destroy anything and anyone who comes in their wake amongst these waves. Racism is the shark. Because of the colour of their skin and the length of their fins, they have never known suffering, they have never known pain, and they have never needed to. You may drown in this ocean of prejudice and hate, and they will prevail. While you may work your entire life for the mistreatment to cease, for your free speech, the sharks will take and know that they have never done anything worthy of their privilege in the first place. Still, they believe they deserve this. Racism is the shark. They will watch as those around them are swept up in these waves of hate, tangled in the weeds, trying to wrap around their calloused hands and drag them to the depths. They will watch as those are excluded from opportunity and made the fool of in harmless humour. Yet they will remain silent and know that they will never have to endure the merciless and unjust pain this ocean inflicts, and they still believe they deserve this. Racism is the shark. Because of the colour of your skin and the length of your fins, you are at risk. At risk of being subjected to this racism that runs rampant in these currents, as does the blood in your veins. The sharks believe the word privilege to be theirs, yet you deserve just as much. Racism is the shark, or so we think it is. Remember, racism is not a shark, it is the water. A child is not born to hate. Hate is taught. A child is not born to look at the colours of our skin or the features we possess and associate them with privilege or mistreatment. A child is not born to butcher the pronunciation of te reo or view themselves as more worthy or superior. They are taught, they are conditioned. To overcome the social stigmas and racial prejudices dividing our nation, we need to start with the youth. We need to raise this generation to be capable of encompassing love and acceptance, a generation who will use their voices. And this can only begin through our kuras. The way we are taught, the way we view different media, our awareness to the things happening in Aotearoa right now, aware to the overwhelming statistics which categorise our country. Nearly 1/3 of all hate-motivated crimes in Aotearoa since January 2022 were directed at Asian individuals. More than 1 in 3 Māori and Asian adults and more than 1 in 4 Pacifica adults have experienced racial discrimination across their lifetime. This cannot continue, and the root of this issue is at our schooling systems. Te reo interwoven into our curriculum, understanding the plethora of cultures which inhabit our country and celebrating the lives of each and every one of us are only few of the many things we can do to begin this voyage. Kindness, understanding, inclusivity and acceptance are only few of the many qualities we can develop to contribute to Te Moana Nui o Te Kanaro, to change the future, nurture the youth. Remember, racism is not a shark, it is the water. Racism does not begin with one person, it does not begin with one child. It is instead the environment through which this person has learned. It is in the silence while racist jokes are made. It is in the silence while unjust bias and opinions are spread throughout the air like wildfire with no form of correction. It is the way that these individuals, these young children, are led to believe that this behaviour is normalised, this behaviour is tolerated. This behaviour is condoned through our unwillingness to speak, for who will break the cycle if not your voice, if not mine? We condone this behaviour through our silence. I have condoned through my silence. I have witnessed the turning of heads as tidal waves of abuse rain oppression. I have seen the upturned noses and the silent shaking of heads as the abuser slices, slashes, suffocates with his tongue and his words, and his victim is drowned. I have seen the unspoken confirmation acknowledged by all that the abuser, the shark, will not be stopped, will not be corrected, and will not be challenged. The shark will swim away unscathed, and any children witnessing will be jeopardized. Our silence sets examples and imprints norms into the minds of youth, whether we intend it to or not. To change the future, nurture the youth. We condone through silence. I once stood at my old cafe job on these same 2 feet and heard 2 customers label a te tiriti protest outrageous and disgusting. While people that I knew were protesting the rights so unjustly stolen from them, I was standing silent, fists clenched while poison was poured into the air around my ears. The sharks chomped their razor blade teeth and wallowed in their self-righteousness. They were the ones who were being disrespected. They believed that given the colour of their skin and the length of their fins, that they were entitled, and that this entitlement dated back to 1840, when a treaty was signed stripping our Indigenous people of all they owned. I stood face on fire as my best friend was berated, ridiculed, slandered, described as audacious and disgusting, and I stayed silent. I did not speak up. At that moment, my silence aided in the continuation of the cycle. My silence reduced me to the very thing I speak so strongly against today. My silence turned me into a shark, and I vowed then and there that I would never allow it to happen again. To change the future, nurture the youth. We condone through silence. To break a barrier this strong, we need to stand up and speak and raise this generation to be brave enough to do so. Change isn't inevitable. Change has to be fought for. And when individuals show this change, communities change, institutions change, and governmental policies and ideologies change. Following the horrific shooting at the Al Noor Mosque in March 2019, the entire country pulled together to support and grieve with the Muslim community. In an event which was intended to divide, the opposite occurred, helping to restrict the usage of semi-automatic firearms. As Jacinda Ardern said at the time, they are us. Just last year, New Zealanders from all different races and walks of life protested the Treaty Amendment Bill, whose aim was to divide the country through the stripping of rights. Again, this had the opposite effect. These recent examples illustrate the sheer power of our voices when used toward a common goal: unity. We cannot unite if we do not speak, and we cannot eliminate this racism if we do not unite. If the principle of embracing our shared humanity was universally acknowledged, none of these statistics would be valid, no one would go speechless, no one would be at risk to denied opportunity or mistreatment, and no one would condone. No one would let our ocean be polluted. Mā tiko teitanga e whai kaha ai tātou. In unity, we have strength. We are a great ocean of diversity. We are a living, breathing ecosystem. There is coral in our arms and there is weed in our hair. Our bodies were sculpted by the same salt and clay and molded by the same currents. You were made with the same ability to make change as I was. You were not made to stand silent. To change the future, nurture the youth. I urge you to use your voice. I urge you to break the cycle. Good up.